Hello and welcome back to more. What was this game called? Dishonored. Sorry, I was distracted by the fact that I left my FPS counter on again. That's just called a running joke, so I can, I don't know, get away with it. I better go this way.
I expect they're hard at work in there. Best join them. They'll help you get whoever really killed the Empress.
So it's starting at last, Admiral. We found our man. Even after 6...
We can continue this later, Lord Pendleton. The man of the hour is here. Corvo, I'm Admiral Havelock. A true servant of the Empire, like you. Until the Lord Regent purged those of us who wouldn't recognize his claim on the throne.
And I'm Lord Trevor Pendleton. I represent the nobility in our little group. But we all act as equals here at the Hound Pits pub.
This is a momentous occasion, Corvo. I'm going to come out with it. We've been building a coalition of loyalists, aimed at ending the Lord Regent's tyranny and restoring the throne.
At risk of execution, we're committed to finding young Lady Emily and seeing her crowned as Empress.
We've got big plans, but we can't do any of it without you. We need your skills, your ability in a fight, and in helping us, we're going to help you destroy the men who murdered the Empress.
So,
Cool.
you must be exhausted. We can discuss this further after you've recovered. But before you retire, you should introduce yourself to Piero. He's challenging at times, but his industrious mind buys him that right.
Yes, Piero's as much an artist as a technician. He's going to be crafting the gear you'll need. Go talk to him and then get some sleep. We can
Alright.
talk more when you've rested.
Let me loot the place. I've noticed a lot of people are ugly in this. I think it's just the art style, though. Hey, somebody to lift some money under here. Yeah, I think the art style of accentuating the crevices of the face just sort of makes them ugly. Ooh, wait. Coin of 10. There's a whole pile there.
River traffic is forbidden from landing in the distillery district due to risk of infectious contact. Violators will be taken to the flooded district for treatment and rehabilitation.
Violators will be shot. Let's face it, that's what they meant. Actually, in all likelihood, violators will be shot and thrown into the sewer they weren't supposed to be in the first place. It's a sea shanty. I'm not gonna sing that. You gotta pay extra for that. A Gaffer's Tale, Volume 2. Excerpt from the travel journal of a whaler in his final years. After more than a quarter of a century, I'm done with whaling, too broken to continue. I've seen all the corners of the Isles, and made more coin than most men see in a lifetime. But it's all gone. I'd lived through an emperor and watched his daughter take the throne. Fair young empress she was, but slain so young. Everything beautiful comes to die. I've eaten in every port of the of the known world, and sailed in the loneliest waters you could imagine. I've seen the cliffs around Pandacia. Even the best of it doesn't give me an ounce of joy. The years come back across my dreams as a line of butchered bodies, long, sleek, and singing among the waves under the moonlight, only to be spared by ugly, weather-scarred men. who'd knife each other for a good pair of boots. Each year I had less time to come home. My tongue forgot the language of small chatter, and those who lived in the cities thought me odd. My sister Nina hardly knew what to say to me during our visits. When she lost her business to the Lord Regent's crooked barrister, I was 100 miles east of Morley, gaff hand frozen from the sleet as we tracked the first bull whale we'd seen in months. I helped her as much as I could, but Nina died in the early days of the plague. None of it mattered. If I'm jaded and bitter, it's because this industry has taken away my dreams. The world has beaten me. Well, that's sad. Oh god, there's so much to read. Oh, I read Volume 2 before I read Volume 1. Oh, well, time for Volume 1 then. My sister Nina and I left Tivia together, saying goodbye to our aunt, the woman who had raised us since childhood, leaving behind our home city of Yarrow and the cold but beautiful white landscapes we had always known. We boarded a ship for Dunwall. Our parents had left us with a sizable inheritance, and we spent half of this getting to the capital city and establishing a small import shop dedicated to Tivian furs. Once I'd helped Nina establish the business, I was free to pursue my dreams. Signing on with a whaling ship was the most exciting thing I'd ever done. I saw it as a means to an end. Someday I would captain my own crew, and eventually my own fleet of similar vessels. With tears in my eyes, Nina kissed me farewell, and I did not see her again for many months. As an apprentice to the gaffer, I got to see the tracking and killing of the great beasts up close. Nothing had ever fired my spirit so, as the wind and pounding waves, racing after a wounded whale, being pulled by a skein of cables embedded in its thick flesh. I changed more in those first 7 months than I had in the previous 7 years. Whaling was beginning to put its mark on me, so that Nina barely recognized me when I returned. Tanned and sinewy with muscle, weather creases already wrinkling the corners of my eyes. But you could see that I was filled with joy, having found my purpose. And then bad things happened. Alright, last book. Admiralty and the Fleet. While each of the Isles has some form of naval fleet, none is more envied than that of Bristol, with its long, proud history of great ships and the admirals who commanded them. Boys come of age in the cities of Bristol hoping to someday captain such a ship, and family dynasties are made by those captains who track down infamous pirates or crush seditious uprisings, as during the Morley insurrection. In times of war and peace, Bristol continues to innovate at sea. The ship designs of Anton Sokolov himself now represent the highest standard in the whaling trade, allowing crews to haul their keel up over the deck and begin their butchery and processing, even as the ship returned to Dunwall. We saw those ships out in the harbor multiple times, actually. Crews can be seen working on their latest whale as the ship moves slowly up the Wrenhaven River, coming to dock with one of the powerful warehouse companies such as the Greaves Whaling House, suspended in the rigging overhead and backlit by a setting sun. The silhouette of these creatures makes a moving sight as it cruises to its final resting place in the industrial heart of the capital. Right now we know who makes those whaling ships. And now for an audiograph.
Log entry 1-4. It seems we have moved to a new phase. Martin's improvisations have borne fruit. The former bodyguard has been freed and is en route to the staging location. With Pendleton's voting bloc and my military connections, all we've lacked is the ability to project lethal force in a controlled manner against a previously inaccessible... to the point, we need a man who can kill the bastards for us. Corvo is more than capable of that, I have no doubt. And Bob. This is awful. Switch. Switch, where the hell is it?
Pub master room key.
Do not attempt to house or care for a friend or family member who shows signs of blood on their face and chest area. The only way to help them is to bring them to the city watch. They will be taken to the flooded...
I just stole a plate. Oh.
Pleased to meet you, Master Corvo. I saw you at court in happier days, but you might not remember. I was once a close ally to the Lord Regent, Hiram Burroughs, back when he was just the spy master. He's one manipulative bastard, I can tell you that.
I don't need to eat. Let's listen to this
My
audiograph.
furnishings have been installed at last with no small amount of complaining by that antiquated boatman. The others have no idea what it's like to suffer as I have. Speaking of which... Wallace! Please breathe 2 bottles of Dunwall Red, never mind which, and fetch a clean glass. Well, I'll begin again tomorrow.
Hope you don't mind me listening to that. Yeah, he's not saying anything, it's fine. Just gonna take that money from you. Just taking people's shit. I'll get to that over there later. I'm gonna take people's shit first. Go 5 coin. Oh god, 2 books. I don't want to read more. 3 books. Jesus Christ. Fuck it, I'm not reading them.
As far as the river mouth and flooded district. Do not attempt to approach or destroy a river crust. Any items recovered from doing so are considered state property.
Rivercrest? I should probably remember that.
I'll be crafting your weapons and gear, all custom work. For you, I will create the tools of a master assassin. No! This cannot happen now. The tank of whale oil is running. Will you get a new tank from upstairs, please, while I hold this in place? Be careful. The oil's unstable. When it explodes, there's a terrible mess.
Well, I should probably do this before I look at other
That
stuff.
tank is empty. A new tank.
Yes, I'm well aware. I gotta be careful with it. Apparently whale oil is explosive.
Now plug it in. Perfect. Thank you, Cole. Here, see? The assassin's mask. You're a wanted man, so everyone in the city knows your face, but this mask will mean terror to them. If you just hold still, the fit must be precise. There. Can you see normally? Send the lens out of alignment. There. Better now? I could create more for you. Upgrades for your gear, weapons, munitions. But our situation here is desperate. Scavenge the city for valuables and I will resell them on the black market. That should give us the money to craft the things you need.
Hey, that's what I've been doing.
Tell me what I can make for you.
Sure, let's have a look. Crossbow bolts. Sleep bolts? Ooh. Yeah, I want to try non-lethal, so yeah, I'd probably want those. Those have been handy in the sewer, because then I wouldn't have killed anybody. Bullet. Razor. Now let's look at upgrades. Crossbow accuracy. Range. Reload. Combat sleep dart. Sleep dart's sedative effect is immediate even in combat. Oh. Sword crossing. Makes the sword more effective when locking blades and pushing against an enemy. Ideally, I won't need that. Let's see. Ooh, magnify view. That might be nice. Let's see. Bone charm capacity. I know bone charms are important. They're like little bonuses. Look at this optics. And accuracy and range. There we go. I've spent all my money.
You must be exhausted. I advise that you get some sleep. Your life will get even more difficult soon. You should rest while you can. Very well. You know best. Let me know if you need anything more.
This guy talks very slowly for a genius. Let's see. Piero's request is denied. Piero. No, I will not sign off on these purchases. A bag of powdered crystal? Tivian ore? What's wrong with metals and crystal? King Sparrow feathers? If you need feathers, sacrifice your own pillow. Maybe at the academy everything you needed was paid for by tariff and handed out willy-nilly. But this is my bar, or what's left of it, and we're operating on a budget. We're running low on oil, food, elixir, building materials, and everything else, so you've got to slow down. While I'm footing the bill, I will not approve your purchases unless they're absolutely required. No more copper wire or special herbs. If you need those things, go out and scavenge them. Half the city is in ruins, so no one is going to miss any of the old crap you seem to need. Well, I've been doing that. A second solution. Excerpt from a series of newspaper articles from Prominent Natural Philosophers by Piero Joplin? One of those. It is through no fault of my own that the average citizen has expressed a preference for Sokolov's elixir over my own formula, sold as Piero's remedy, a name that I did not choose, if you must know the truth. The public has spoken its unusual message of idiocy, spending their coin as a means of selecting Sokolov's formula over mine, which I believe to be equal, if not superior. Much has been made over the popularity of these concoctions as a means of resisting this remarkable new plague. I say remarkable because this strain works with an efficiency we have not seen in the history of the Empire. This plague, now making its way through the city of Dunwall, is unrivaled in its effectiveness. I've studied it within the blood of those so afflicted, and it is nearly perfect. Elegant, in fact. Don't start praising the plague. And while it is true that Piero's remedy and Sokolov's elixir are known to protect the body against the plague equally, my own has properties not fully understood, which relate to the mind itself and the spirit. And it is in this way that my formula wins out. Here is where one should pay attention to this contest. For you see, Sokolov's elixir, with its emphasis on the brute animal body, is a crass goo better suited for livestock. A crass goo better suited for livestock. I gotta remember that one. The subtle and secret variants in the key ingredients making up Piero's remedy ensure that it works on the higher functions that separate humankind from the mindless blue-jawed hagfish swimming in the Wrenhaven River. Interesting. I hope you don't mind if I sell this. Okay. I open your vices. And turn on your grindstone. Ha ha ha. I don't know why, but I did. Oh, Jesus Christ, there's so many books. Whale oil refilling station. Sokolov no longer has the upper hand with regard to supplies of whale oil. The good admiral has paid for the installation of my own system, which will enable me to work in this place. The oil tank dispenser, when activated, will produce an empty vessel for filling. When the empty tank is near the oil tank refill pump, the magnetic attractor should take the tank and lock it in the correct configuration. Using the lever will begin the refilling process. Once refilling is completed, the tank can be removed and placed in service. Extreme caution must be used in handling the full tanks. They're quite unstable. The system is sound and well engineered. It appears that the Greaves Oil Company has done something correct for once. Whale oil processing. Excerpt from the founder of the Greaves Whale House. Out at sea, they secure the beast with hooks, with lines cast from the main ship and from several smaller boats. Buoys keep the whale from diving deep. Once it's caught, a larger hook is driven through the tail, which is used to hoist the creature up through the chute. They moan and bellow for some time as the men get them onto the deck, then lift them into the scaffolding overhead. The ship adjusts its prow and returns to port in Dunwall, where the crew works on the great creature, slicing off the fattiest parts while it still lives. Jeez, they don't kill it first? They kill the poor thing first. Sure, let's read these. Why not? Whale vivisection. Excerpt from the notes of a natural philosopher aboard a whaling ship. Remarkably, each specimen I had the pleasure of studying during the voyage possessed some minor variance in physiology. On the second leg of the trip, east of Tivia, the crew hauled aboard a female, some 42 inches in length. Wait, no. Wait, or was one... No, 42 feet in length, sorry. I'm American, yet I had to second-guess myself there. I estimate she weighed 35 tons, and the ship sat low, rocking side to side through the night with her thrashing. By candlelight, I took her apart, sketching and taking notes. Against her bellowing, I cut into the mass of tentacles around her mouth. Within, I found row upon row of teeth and a baleen running along the upper jaw. Through this broom-like structure, I assumed she filtered food from the water that was too small to be chewed. Neat. Alright. Dead counter responsibilities. Excerpt from a manual on New City Watch procedures. Commissioned by the Lord Regent in the face of the growing plague crisis, the dead counter is a position that will only be given to officers, usually of junior or middle grades. In most matters of edict or curfew enforcement, these officers will defer to the acting officer on duty. However, any dead counter will have command in situations related to the plague and the handling of the dead, including those with late-stage plague symptoms, called weepers in common parlance. I've never heard that word. Starting in the month of rain, interested officers may apply for the test, and, if accepted for the 2-week training tour, pay will be administered in coin and rations of elixir, at 1 1/2 normal pay grade. Nice. Alright, last one. Failed experiments. Excerpt from a series of lectures on natural philosophy by Piero Joplin. Of course, I have attempted to improve upon Sokolov's design. Of course, and why not? After all, it is likely that his thinking was influenced in some small way by our time together at the Academy. We are all part of a community, striving to unknot the mysteries of the cosmos. Even those among us who possess the greatest minds are often led to a fruitful line of consideration by, how does one say it, our intellectual subordinates. Sokolov is no exception to this, despite the glamour of genius he has cast over the aristocracy. And further, it is true that many of my experiments have failed. No need to gossip about it, behind my back in your social clubs and in the very chambers of the Academy itself. Great ambition requires risks. You may laugh now at my door to nowhere. But someday you will not. Our children will likely see it as commonly as you see the electric lamps lighting our streets at night. But a few short years ago, you would have laughed at Sokolov's arc pylon or wall of light. Your laughter, your condescending smiles, they are nothing but evidence of your own limited imagination. Ah yes, rejected by his peers, I see.